Good evening, everyone. Welcome to A Link to the Past League. Today in Week 2, Open Defeat Ganon, we have from the Kakariko Blue crew, Slumberjack, and from Spaceballs, the Rando team, PhantomRyu. I am your commentator today, Esper Hub, and with me, my wingman is Sokol. Am I pronouncing that right?
You are? Are you ready for hopefully a fantastic match this evening?
As ready as I'll ever be, to be honest. I always have like a keen interest in like watching a lot of these runners go through, especially since I'm in the league myself. Hopefully to learn a thing or two while being able to scope out the competition.
Yeah, and as I was saying with you earlier, I'm a little partial today because I am also in the league and I am a part of the Kakariko Brew crew, so Slumberjack is my teammate.
Yeah, we get to play on Week 5, don't we?
It's going to be fun. We have to prepare our drinking skills, and it looks like we're off.
Looks like both of them are doing the Uncle opening.
Just a little bit of health.
Now, what they're looking to do is hopefully get in a weapon of some sort to be able to do the escape sequence from the get-go. And unfortunately, Ryu just threw the sign at the red dude, which doesn't really do the kill, but I guess he's going to opt out on the tree pull, that's fine by now.
Yeah, it turns out to be only some hearts, so I'm not going to hurt him that much there.
And a piece of heart from Uncle.
Oh, a lot of health so far.
Yeah, just only a few pieces of heart, but yeah, it seemed like it's a good time to go to check out Kakariko Village to see what else they can come up with. Now, the key that they pull up from Sanctuary is part of the escape sequence in the Hyrule Castle. So theoretically, once they are able to get into the back part, they can probably do Dark Cross as well. Unless the map is in there.
Correct, yeah. It might be interesting to see if they'll be able to do Dark Cross without any fire sources. I mean, I'm assuming both of these runners could.
And as we get the intel on the crab, giving out 5 rupees, which is actually pretty good. And Ryu going for the rupee room, more likely going to load up on the rupees ahead of time. He may be going to South Shore with this plan in mind.
Not quite yet. He might be heading to Kakariko now, but I'm sure Zora is on the back of his mind. Slumberjack's going to pick up some of these bombs here in the forest.
And that is a great thing to have right now, because going into Kakariko Village, you'll be needing some of those to get to the back parts of it for more checks.
I'm feeling a loaded Kakariko.
Worst case scenario, everything's backloaded and we get to see our runners unfortunately deal with a lot of trouble getting to and from places from here. And it does look like PhantomRyu is just following in the footsteps of Slumberjack, so while we're going through the opening sequence of this, I'm pretty sure we have some sort of idea of what could potentially be within the basement here.
Maybe some sort of progression. Ooh, some roots, okay. Oh, a shovel. It's a fire source. And a couple more roots.
Now this, okay, there we go, a fighter sword. So they do now have a weapon of some sort to be able to do some damage at the very least. But with the 300 being there, I feel like that's going to end up hurting Ryu more if he comes across more rupees in the chest in Kakariko, which we're looking to see where those checks are now with Jack.
We got a little more protection in the well with the blue mail.
And a lot of parts to go along with that too. So one thing that I do like within this seed is how the blue mail is already right there from the get-go. Added defense is like extra, especially if you can get some early access to the Dark World. One problem I'm seeing though is that we still have a lantern and a sword. Now, if Master Sword becomes a thing and we come across the Moon Girl, it feels like it could be an Aga seed.
Wait, you're going ahead and jinxing them right now. That's what you're doing.
I mean, I don't have to jinx it. The seed is already preordained.
This is true.
The real question, though, however, is should our runners come across the actual items to do Aga, will they actually go do it or like adamantly just avoid it at all costs, checking every other place in order to try to get Dark World access from there?
You know, that's always the big question when you're doing the seeds here. Do you make that play early and have it pay off possibly, or do you wait till the last second? And I'm more of the person that waits till the last second.
As we check the library, only a set of bombs there, so we don't have a urgent need for boots just yet, but I will definitely be glad if they come across some boots anytime soon early in this run. As we see 300 in the race, so nothing at the bottom part of the Kakariko village, as Jack is going to take the time to go over to, I believe, the forest over there. And this is based on because of the fact that they pulled up a shovel, so they're going to do this check right off the bat and be done with it, and hopefully come across something good. Which slippers. I am seeing some Zora play in the future here with those. Looks like they're going to do South Shore from here, definitely.
Yeah, that's the play at the moment, I would think.
It's a very good practice to, when you attain an item of progression of that caliber, to always use it to that benefit. And I believe... Oh, wait, is this a change of... Huh. I never seen... I remember... I know those two whirlpools exist, but I never really think that they will go through that way.
But good strategy to check out the mushroom.
Aha.
If it's nothing, we'll see if Slumberjack does a reset.
Yeah, if they do a reset from here, then we know that they're going to use that to...
Oh, he saves and quits, though.
Uh-oh.
That's interesting.
Maybe he feels like Magic Powder is not going to be the key. Like, Magic Bag may not have the progressive item needed. Oh. Which I can understand. Like, you can just keep going, and you'll probably... If logic dictates it, you will eventually find the Magic Powder.
Yeah, we did get a map check. We have a vanilla green pendant on Eastern, the blue pendant in Desert, and a red pendant on Hera. Unless it was red crystalline desert. I apologize.
Hey, it's all good. If you was these runners and you see green pendant on Eastern, would you end up going out of your way to do it at this early in the seed?
This early I wouldn't because we don't have bow. Unless, of course, bow's French vanilla. That would be interesting.
That'd be really interesting indeed. Hopefully, these next set of checks in the mini Muldrum cave will guide us to see where these runners should be headed to next. There is something about using the bombs in mini Muldrum cave feeling really good.
Yeah, for some reason, it's very satisfying to see that.
And unfortunately, coming up blank with just only a shield in mini Muldrum cave. Perhaps Ice Cave, and then perhaps after that, just start going through the process of visiting Zora, and hopefully not getting scammed from that.
Yeah, that would be the most straightforward play at this point.
Especially since the only set of checks that you could potentially doing is escape or doing the Eastern Shed where Saha is at, and then partly doing dipping into Eastern Palace. And that's just about it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, at this point, other than Agina's cave as well.
Oh, right, Agina's cave, yeah. And that's very far out in the desert. As we pull up a glove, finally, from the ice cave. That is actually pretty useful, because now that's at the very least part access to Death Mountain, but also be able to go into the back part of Escape.
And Slumberjack is choosing to, looks like, go towards Eastern. Oh, no. He is going back to check Hobo.
This is a very interesting way to check on Hobo. Ooh. And as we see Titan's Mint on Hyrule Island Lake, hello. Looks like we're going to need the mirror as soon as possible. And once we get that, at the very least, we would definitely be able to get to that.
Let's see if Ryu swims by there and gets that information as well.
I would like to think with this early in the seed, he will eventually get to there. As he is swimming upwards. Most likely we're going to do Hobo, and then on the way back, check the island, because that's actually very vital.
Yeah, it's very good intel to have.
Thankfully, with the flippers, they should also be able to check the fairy waterfall to see what those 2 item checks are. Hopefully one of them will be a bottle, just so we can see what the fairy will give us.
Ooh. So Slumberjack knew he was going to get that powder, as Ryu discovers the Titan's mitts on the island. And it looks like Slumberjack is about to find out whether we're getting scammed by the big fish.
And with Ryu following behind, looks like they're just gonna follow the feels pretty linear, but with the way they're handling this route, I think this is like the most acceptable or optimal way to do it. Handle it. You might as well take these checks out now, especially we don't have much to go off of yet.
So where will Slumberjack go now?
With that Sanctuary pick, I'm going to assume that's either going towards Death Mountain or going towards the back of Escape. They did have that key, so you have to keep that in mind.
He is going to the back of Escape.
And thankfully, they have the lantern, so they should be able to check that place out with no issues of getting to the key and getting to the rest of the place.
And what do we got? Ooh, Kane of Samaria.
And with that map, that's a clean telltale sign that the rest of the items here are either progression or just miscellaneous junk. So definitely Dark Cross has something for us. So Ryu looks like he's going to go to the front part of Escape. So we're going to see the checks from there. I would like to think he's going to do the front part of Escape, Death Warping, and then doing the last part of Escape afterwards to clean that out.
Right, since you have the key, you know you can get through there to the back.
And as the Dark Cross gives us a piece of heart, some Arcane is definitely a huge boon because they're most likely going to be needing it for Ice Palace or Misery Mire, as well as Turtle Rock. And any other switch that they feel very lazy to stand over or push a statue to.
And it looks like Slumberjack is heading towards the front of the skip now. So these racers are still pretty tight with each other. They haven't deviated their courses yet.
Given how the seat logic has kind of gave them a weird sort of, I wouldn't say weird, but a linear sort of setup, I'd say this is an understandable situation. Ooh. And there's a bow here. All right.
So that brings up the question of going to Eastern again.
You do have those 3 checks with Saha, and you have the rest of the checks as well as green pendant reward. So I feel like that's pretty enticing to look into.
Yeah, I would have questioned without the bow going there, but with the bow, I think that would be a play that I would make.
And here we go, as we see PhantomRyu setting up for the attentional Death Warp. Once he finished taking his lumps here, grabbing another pot, and then beating up the Mace Guard. And we get a 20 rupees from the other chest, and we're just gonna go back to the start and then go to the back part finally. So Ryu is also going to get hit some more arcane, which is pretty good. And Slumberjack retracing the steps that Ryo took, as Ryu is going through it the other way, vice versa, to get the item that Slumberjack have attained. I feel like the choices here could, well, obviously Eastern is the way to go. It has a lot of checks, density to look into, but you can still opt out in doing that and going into Death Mountain.
Yeah, density-wise, the Eastern play would be the play, as Slumberjack gets his map information. But you never know, because that progression could just be on the old man going up towards the mountain.
And if it is on the old man towards the mountain, it'll be quite a bit of an experience, especially if it's mirror.
It could also be inside a spectral rock. Yeah, Aga 1, as chat says, is still on the table.
That is correct.
We find either Master Sword or the Cape. And as we find the most important item in the game, the Bug Net, in Saha's closet.
Hey, once we get a bottle, we can start doing some safety plays.
And it looks like Ryu is heading the same way.
Yeah, they're thinking like the sensible density route. Like, this has a lot of checks. Let's go ahead and get this out the way.
I mean, I don't blame him. I would be making a similar play, probably. Especially with all the items over on this side of the world. Compared to what's left.
So, here's what they should be looking for in Eastern. Moon Pearl, obviously, so they can have the ability to traverse through the Dark World without being hindered. but more importantly, as well as that, Hammer. With that, they can skip Agina 1 and, well, Agon 1 to go into the Dark World through Kakariko Village this way. So, especially since Titan Mist is on Lake Hyrule Island.
Yeah, we really don't want to see that Master Sword right now.
Yeah, if Master Sword pops up, oh, Fire
Ooh,
Rod.
Fire Rod. Now we can throw some flame.
Having it very early is a pretty good benefit too, because that means you have access to Skull Woods, and even if Skull Woods is a pendant, you can always check in there for its items. So hopefully we can avoid that. We'd like to hope that the RNG is kind enough today to allow us to skip at least the 2 other pendant dungeons.
Yeah, that would be nice to our runners. And Slumberjack is passing the big chest.
More likely he's doing the back chest and then looping around just to get that back up.
Well, he does have the big key, so that's kind of interesting.
I believe Ryu fell behind when he was doing the rupee room.
Yeah, he did. He visited Hula Hand Room, yeah, so. And it turned out he didn't really need it with all those rupees in Kakariko. But it never hurts to have rupees.
As I see in the big chest, it's only 20 rupees. Things are looking a little grim here.
Yeah, and Ryo's making the play of skipping Vanilla big key chests, and
he's going to get rewarded for it.
It's going to pay off for him.
Yeah, he just casually slips ahead by skipping out on that. I'm like, that's a pretty good bet. Though, to be honest, he's not going to lose as much time going back to get that one chest. Plus, he's under the gamble assumption that the boss has his item, the last item to get from this dungeon. Alright, now here's the fun part. Can our friend PhantomRyu get the quick kill on Armos?
Just a slight slip up, but it won't take him that much longer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good cleanup. And as we see Lumberjack attempting the sequence, but messing up as well, but he's able to clean it up as well once he gets the last 2 down. And there we go.
So now it's time to head back to see what Saha's hiding.
I would like to hope, at the very least, it's a mirror, so they can go and do Terra. 10 arrows. Okay.
I like the shot towards Saha there.
I think at this point, both of our runners are just going to say, "Thanks, Seed. I hate this."
And I think Ryu is going to check maybe Potion? The mushroom? Even though,
yeah, he's checking mushroom.
And Slumberjack may be headed to check Agina. So that might be an interesting one-off play for him.
At this point, I don't blame him from doing this one-off check that's very far out, even though he does not have access to desert yet. Especially with how dry Eastern Palace was to begin with. Like, that could have went everywhere but the way it went, and would have been great, but we just came up with nothing.
We're also going to get a peek of Desert Ledge here, which is a bottle.
And Ryu opted out into just turning. Oh, well, of course he could just opt in to turn into mushroom. Now he has magic powder. So it looks like Ryu is going to go to the mountain from this way. And we see from Slumber Jack, the chest is hammered. This is good news.
Pays off.
This is good news. Now he just needs to go to Death Mountain, because I'm definitely certain that Mir is either there or a hook shot. Something big is in the mountain right now.
Either something for Aga or and having Moon Pearl maybe on Pyramid. Or Moon Pearl itself could be on the mountain.
Yep. Or they could get the hook shot so they can proceed to go to the east part of Death Mountain. And from this check we get Quake.
We're shaking the ground. So I think our answer is inside Spectral Rock, and it could be on Magic Bat.
That is correct.
With that
Jack.
hammer.
The bat can lead to some progression of some sort if these checks do not come up right.
So, another bottle on Spectacle Rock. And Ryu is not even checking. He's just going in.
Yeah, if he feels like if something big has to be here, it has to be through here. Let's just go to it immediately. As we see a pair of bombs, looks like Ryu's gonna have to go check on Gina to get that hammer of his, because that's the only check that I think that's logically feasible right now in his situation.
It is, and Magic Bat will be the only check for Slumberjack.
So PhantomRyu now slipping a little bit behind to retrace the steps of Jack to get his hammer. Jack is gonna go ahead back to Kakariko Village to pay a visit to the Magic Bat, because Magic Bat definitely has guaranteed progression at this point.
So we could have a hook shot, a mirror.
Hook shot, mirror, or cape.
Or a Moon Pearl.
I like to think at this point, actually, you know what? It could also be book as well. It could also be the book. That'll open up Desert Palace and allow them to check that area out for a bit.
Well, we are about to find out.
All right, Magic Bat. Do your little dance. Show us what we get. Well,
the Book of Medora.
I'm 1-1 today in my insight.
I guess we are going to desert.
Yeah, but that desert access should be at the very least helpful. Hopefully, they'll be able to clear it. We're going to see a compass or map on Torch, and then they can just get the rest of the item checks done.
So, wouldn't it be really evil if it's the bottle that's progression to Sick Kid?
True. But I would like to hopefully avoid that kind of situation of linearity because
we do not need a repeat of earlier, apparently.
Good Lord. I have heard only nightmares of that one particular seed. But yeah, this back and forth is... Hopefully it does not take a toll on our racers.
Now, I think it's going to open up much more once we get into the Dark World. and we'll hopefully see a divergence.
And in this chest that we're making up here, we're gonna get a mirror.
Ooh, there it is.
So this is definitely boots locked, but they can still finish the land drones fight because they have the gloves. Big key or small key is going to be on torch, so they don't really have much to linger on this section of the dungeon until after they get boots.
Yeah, can't do land molest because of the big key being on the torch.
Oh right, that's of course, duh.
So now
You're gonna have to just get this bottle and then mosey on back to Kakariko Village.
And then, so I'm thinking he'll go straight to the mountain, maybe go to Hera.
Either that, yeah, okay. That would make more sense. I was gonna say, like, turn it in Sick Kid, see what he gives us, and hopefully that's the Moon Pearl. But Moon Pearl can definitely be in vanilla location, aka Tower of Hera.
And maybe even in the big chest. That would be interesting. And
Ryu is immediately leaving. I wonder if he realized that the bottle is... Oh, yeah, I think he just did.
Slumberjack trying to stay away from the text box there.
I do not blame him for that one.
I'm surprised he didn't go to check to see what item was on Ether.
He may do that after finishing this dungeon, as we get a
True.
big key in the basement.
So we're definitely going up.
Ew, compass. Well, that just means both items are in the other floor. Hopefully there's nothing. The map is just in the weight room, as we would like to call it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a small key locked in the basement.
Well, that too. Either that or the map. I'm fine either way with that.
And Ryu's just right behind. About 45 seconds right behind right at this point. Ooh, and we got a map check from Ryu. We got pendants on Pod and Skull Woods, and the other 5-6 is on Meyer.
There's item number 1 in the big chest, as Slumberjack managed to get over to there with a successful bomb jump. As we see Ryu taking a look at the tablet, and we get just some pocket change.
Nothing to see here. Keep moving on. Slumberjack has taken on the wonderful Troldorn.
I had to call him Morty.
And there he goes.
In a clean fashion. Oh no.
And yeah, he's slashing for that, so...
I can understand his visible frustration finding out that he had the small key.
So it'll be interesting to see if Ryu does skip the basement here, if Slumberjack goes back in. Slumberjack is skipping the basement, so... We'll see if Ryu decides to do the basement for that one item.
Part of me wants to agree on skipping the basement like this, but with the way their item layout has, well, the item payout has been lately,
Luckily,
I wouldn't be so keen on it.
yeah, luckily for Slumberjack, if he doesn't find anything over here, he can just go right back in.
But I
And
will understand this spiral check.
Yeah, and we did see ether on the floating island. So we may be picking that up later.
And in Spiral Cave, we get 50 rupees.
Just some money.
You know, this is the one game where I feel like you just don't want to see money after a while. Any other game, you'll be grateful for it, or in real life. Not in this one.
Yeah, we have enough money. Stop giving us money. As we get our paradox checks.
Hopefully with all the huge density of the Paradox Cave, we get some good from it. There's our Moon Pearl.
There's our good right there.
So successfully finding the Moon Pearl means we get to skip a Aga 1 completely. As that is our new Dark World access to go off of.
And other than that, Paradox is pretty bleak.
Wow.
And Ryu is heading back in to check the basement here, so this could either be a big move or, as we already know, could be a little bit of a time loss.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He is stuck in the tiny bed jail. Oh no.
I will say I have done that many times.
Same. I feel this man's pain already.
Begin the sword slashes as Slumberjack is checking out Hype Cave.
And let's see what we get from there. Hell, you know, I guess a Master Sword is okay, but outside of that, come on, gang.
At this point, and just 10 arrows in the basement of Hera. So, unfortunately, we know that it's a little bit more of a time loss for Ryu, but there's still a lot of seed to play. But Slumberjack is going straight to Lake Hylia Island to grab those mitts.
And yeah, this is definitely the definite headstrong dive to get, because having Titan's Mint not only allows you to go in between well, it allows you to have some access for some other checks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's gonna take the left route here to visit Stumpy and K45 and the Dig Game and head up towards Thieves Town.
Yep, that would be a good play indeed to do.
Which we definitely know Thieves Town is a crystal.
He can, you know, he does have Master Sword. He does have Mirror. What's stopping him from checking the Bombos tablet?
That is also a check he could make, but he is not going that way. Maybe he will route that in with
Running in it with Purple Chest may be an okay move.
Yeah.
I feel like if you could like route in the tablet now rather than later, that would help out a lot. Especially if you found the flute already.
Correct. As Rio picks up his Moon Pearl, so he now has Dark World access. And we're going to discover A, how many digs it will take today, and what is under the dirt?
I believe it's going to be like 5 digs. Okay, I stand corrected.
I was going to be about burn the witch, but nope, no burning today. Oh,
Just 10 arrows.
just 10 arrows after I think it was 16 digs.
I can't successfully predict all the time. If I did, it would be way too easy.
This is very true.
Oh, looks like he's taking our blacksmith friend back home. I think he's going to do that first. So I'm guessing Peg Cave? Peg Cave.
Yeah, he might be doing some hammer pegs here.
The slowest pegging.
The long hammer pegs. And Ryu is heading towards maybe Skull Woods and Thieves Town?
I would like to think so.
I'm kind of intrigued that he didn't go grab the Titans minutes yet, but I guess that could be on his way if he routes that in. I mean, I guess there's no harm in doing it now. Or doing it later. If he's doing these checks now.
And we get a piece of heart from the blacksmiths. We continue our search for items that we're needing to go into go mode. We get a hook shot though at the treasure chest game.
There we go, and I'm assuming Slumberjack will be picking that up here momentarily.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna take a look at the brewery and the chess game, and then going into Thieves Town because
Ryu just went straight in and picked up some half magic.
Half magic before Dark World, or at the very least at the very start of Dark World, is a very, very good sign because it allows you to not really worry about your magic reserves, especially when dealing with the Moth as well as a few other bosses.
And I think Slumberjack is double checking where his crystals are.
And taking the time to mark it down from the looks of it, too.
Never a bad thing to do. And he might be going into Thieves Town first before picking up his hook shot. Hopefully he does not forget to swing around and do that.
I feel like in this early part of the game, around Thieves Town, I feel like both runners will not leave out any checks around the vicinity of the dungeon. But yeah, that hook shot is definitely going to be great right now to be able to zip through a few areas.
Yeah, it will help maybe going through Hellway here.
As we see from our stun prize, it's 5 rupees.
Once again, we don't need any more money.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we can go pay a visit to the Wishing Fairy and get some more arrow extensions and bombs with that kind of money. Which is the legitimate strategy, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Especially when you're coming from either Armos and Palace of Darkness, and you still need more arrows to do, say, for instance, was it Vitriol in Misery Mire?
Vitreous, yes.
Yeah, you can get an arrow extension for that fight particularly.
And I missed what was in Attic Chest.
We'll see that when Jack comes around to do his.
It wasn't a small key, so
more likely a compass or map, since I didn't see any changes. Oh, a piece of heart. Okay.
So that is the third item, so...
Yep, one more item check left. And even though it's one more item check left, they don't really have to worry about locking themselves out of a check here because they already have hammer.
Very true.
Yeah, the only time you're sweating about item checks is when you don't have the hammer and you're in here you're trying to gamble on it. Which I believe I have done and successfully did a few times, but will not advise you people to do. As we get a sword from the maiden's chest.
So yeah, so that'll be Slumberjack's tempered when he gets there.
I would like to think after this, Ryu's gonna like do the reverse order, finish checking the Thieves Town area, then go south to do the rest of the checks there, and then he'll end up his tempers by going into Hype Cave. Especially since Skull Woods is only a pendant. It's like, I feel like if you can necessarily do it, avoid most pendant dungeons until you exhausted the rest of your checks, perhaps.
So yeah.
Well, that too can be a gamble.
Yeah. But Ryu takes down his second crystal.
Only 5 more to go, as Slumber is not too far behind, heading up with the maiden to start off the blind fight.
So it'll be interesting to see if Ryu goes into Swamp Palace now with everything he needs to do that.
That is a good thought right there. You should always be clearing dungeons, as they say, especially if you have the means to do it.
Yes, especially since 6 items lay inside of Swamp Palace.
And it's also a crystal, by the way, so that's even more incentive to do it immediately.
Yeah. That does not hurt at all. And so we'll see if Slumberjack gets his hookshot in chess game momentarily.
Oh man, Ryu is paying a visit to our sick kid. Most likely to check on the item from there, which is actually a pretty good move. I feel like Jack will follow same suit. At the very least before leaving here, though he could leave the kid behind. But that's okay though, kid only has some bombs. I never thought the sick kid would have an explosive personality.
And Slumberjack may be headed towards Skull Woods to check to see what's there.
May looking at to see where the back part is, as well as checking the front part to see if there's any items that he can benefit from. But let's hope his efforts will not go in vain.
And here's an ugly... Sorry, and I was just about to say, here's an ugly thought. We have everything we need to do all 3 pendant dungeons.
You're right. What's stopping the pedestal from being flute?
Hopefully, for our runner's sake, that's not the case.
Yeah, I would really hate to see something like that happen.
As Ryu is just doing the mirror checks on his way towards Swamp Palace and probably Hype Gate.
Where he should be able to get his tempered sword.
And 1 more shield in Skull Woods.
Oh man. Usually I wouldn't sweat about having a fighter's the bigger shield like this, but sometimes I just worry because that means you can just end up finding the mirror shield of all things.
Yeah, we do not like seeing that lag shield. And I think Slumberjack forgot that he fell in. So the Wallmaster took him back to that spot.
Which is rather unfortunate. And Ryu is taking the time to check to see what Bombo's medallion have for us and see what we get from there. Here comes some, I hope, progression, probably, maybe? And no, just 20 rupees.
More money!
Money raining from the skies, making it rain, literally. Oh, Ryu does do high K before the dungeon, though, so he can get tempered.
Does not look like it. It looks like he is going in with Master Sword. And the last item in Skull Woods is in the back of Skull Woods.
This is gonna be rough. That fight is gonna be rough with just Master Sword.
Luckily for Slumberjack, he does have Tempered.
Yeah, Slumberjack will do it just fine with no issues. But I feel like the moment Ryu finishes dungeon and goes into Type Cave and sees that Tempered Sword was right there for him, he's gonna be kicking himself in the shins for that.
Yeah, he might do some sword slashes there. And I'm wondering if Slumberjack will check Pedestal to see what is on it. And the last item is on Mothula. And it looks like he's going to take care of it.
You know what? I don't blame him. We already are knee deep into this pendant dungeon. We're cleaned out most, if not all, the chests here. We might as well just finish it.
This could be a big play. Of course.
Or a big time sink, one or the other. But
one or the other.
I would like to hope that this will pay off.
And with Tempered and Half Magic, it should be a pretty quick fight.
You know, Boots is could also potentially be in the pedestal too, and that's required for Desert, no doubt.
Just a piece of hearts. So, will he check the ped? We will find out momentarily.
And we definitely are. Everybody brace yourself for pedestal height. Is Ped dead? We are here to find out these questions. The answers to the questions.
Ooh, a meal upgrade, so we'll probably not see that.
Oof. Ped is dead. But that's not a huge loss. Doing 2 of the 3 pendant dungeons and hoping that the pedestal had progression of some sort. I don't blame him for attempting to do that.
I got a little bit excited there when I saw the text that was unique.
Me too. I thought it was really good.
And I read it and I was like, oh, it's dead.
Meanwhile, Ryu is going through the Swamp Palace with not that much trouble. You know, he's just getting there just fine. I'm surprised he didn't do the bomb trick, though. I wonder if he knows how to do Diver Down from this section.
Might be a question to ask him later.
As I say, it does save a bit of time on that section itself, but ooh, very good hook shot.
Chad is informing us he does not know how to dive now, which is okay.
Yeah, that's completely fine. You can still, it may be a small bit of time lost to not be able to do it, but it's not gonna definitely hurt you like overall. As we get 20 rupees from the first chest, hopefully the second chest over here will give us some progression. I hope, please, maybe, yes, please. No. Oh my goodness, please.
Money, money, money. As Slumberjack is doing the North Dark World checks, Bumperledge just had some money on it, and there's our Ice Rod.
Hello.
So we'll be needing that in a bit, and Slumberjack could head up to see what is in Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave, and what medallion is needed to open Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and if it's Ether Medallion, we know definitely where to go to get that.
He's gonna check
I
out
think he,
Catfish. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. But yeah, he's definitely gonna check out Catfish first before anything else from the looks of it.
And so far in Swamp, I haven't seen anything extraordinary.
As we get some drainage from the dam to finally get to the final part sequence of it. Let's hope those two chests will give us some goodies there for our buddy Ryu to keep going.
Oh man.
That's a bit unfortunate, but hopefully, doing this dungeon early will pay off. I mean, of course, you have to do it, but doing it early will help get your mind off of it. As we get the big key in the... Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not certain on item count right now. I know it's at least 4. So maybe there might not be anything in the big chest.
I would like to think so. The big key is like that far in. We did get 2 items from the left side of Swamp. So here's hoping Compass is not on boss, as we see Ryu doing some very, very good swing spins to get 2 at once.
And while he is battling Argus, Slumberjack has found himself in Ice Palace, another crystal dungeon. And with that Skin of Samaria, it will be quite simple with Icebreaker. Who's almost done with his Argus fight.
And with 3 swings of the rod, he toasts Argus for a piece of heart. So yeah, I think Big Chess had the compass.
Yeah, I think so. So nothing of note in Swamp Palace.
However, a very good clean fight from Ryu over there, finishing up Argus, as he's going to go check into Hype Cave.
He's probably going to be kicking himself once he picks up that tempered.
And we get a big key from our icebreaker section of Ice Palace from Jack. So I feel like the rest of this dungeon is going to be a clean sweep now. Unless there's an item in T-Slime Room.
Yeah. It's never fun having to go to Ice Tea, but you got a piece of heart. As Ryu picks up his tempered.
So yeah, it does look like Ice Tea Room may be the place, the last item check, but that all depends on if Slumberjack takes the time to go to there or not. Meanwhile, Ryu is going to go and get his Titansmith finally, and he probably went through here. He probably not head dived into this because he knows once he gets this, he's going immediately to Ice Palace, which makes a lot of sense to do.
True. And Slumberjack tried to do the bomb jump there, but unfortunately fell into the hole, so not quite sure. Okay. He is going to take the long way to check Ice Tea.
Hopefully Ice Tea will have something for us. Or for our runners, I should say.
Oh, we're about to find out.
100 rupees.
More money!
Thanks, Seed. We hate it.
So that is all 3 items. So nothing in Ice Palace as well.
Interesting.
So
Especially
maybe,
with how the opening has forced a lot of progression linearity.
so maybe Pendant Pod?
You know, I would dip into it at this point. I would definitely dip into it.
I'll be honest, I'd probably make my way up the mountain, having everything for possibly TR, as long as the medallion's either Ether or Quake. Since we know Ether's already on the mountain.
That too is a viable play as well. And Ryu is working towards doing Icebreaker. There he goes. Clipping right through, getting his key.
Slumberjack had to be careful there. He filled up his health there. Two puffs down and 3 puffs down.
Down they all go.
As Slumberjack gets his 3rd crystal. Ryu is working on his 4th here. Question is, will Slumberjack... We know that there's nothing else in Swamp, but will he go into Swamp?
Starting from the house, looks like he will be going into Swamp.
So this might be good for Ryu.
He is definitely going to be ahead with this sort of progress that he had made. And the only reason why this is kind of happening, that he's gaining the lead now, is because Jack decided to do Skull Woods, and that's a pendant.
Yeah, ended up finding nothing of value in Skullwoods.
Which is rather unfortunate too, because you had to do quite a bit to get through all those checks.
He is checking his Bombos tablet, which you'll find out is more money.
All right, let's make it rain! It would be pretty wild to just hold your sword up to the sky and ask the gods to give you a sign, and they just drop $20 to you.
That would be something.
Ice Rod was in Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, so that'll be something for Ryu to eventually get up there to find. And who knows, he may end up, after doing this, go up and do Skull Woods and check Skull Woods for items as well.
It looks like Ryu has decided to not do Ice Tea, the Slime Tea Room, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, and it'll save him some time, so... He's got to be a little careful here. But he takes him down.
Nice shots from the fire rods and cleans up the fight, despite being at very, very critical health. Pretty sure those eyeballs take like 4 pips of health off of you. On Blue now.
And Ryu's fourth crystal with 3 to go.
Now, is he going back in for Ice Serum, or is he going to... Okay, yeah, there we go. Saving the time to skip that room to most likely do some other checks.
So he is headed up to the mountain.
And this is the big play that we were looking for. If we get Ether or Crake being on top of Turtle Rock, we can definitely do those.
So it'll be interesting to see whether he dips Turtle Rock at all, if he could go in.
I feel like if you're going to Death Mountain, Dark World Death Mountain, I feel like you might as well. You're already up there. You're already going to do the checks from the Super Bunny Hop Cave as well as Hookshot Cave. And if you already have access to it, then might as well do it.
Yeah, and that'll be unfortunate for him since he does not have that ice rod yet. So he cannot complete it. Well, Slumberjack is going straight back in Swamp.
Skipping out the left side of Swamp just to go ahead and get rid of the boss as he pulls up those other checks that Ryu has already done. Which, at this point, I don't blame him. Like, it looks like...
And Super Bunny chests are just more money.
That is a lot of money.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Slumberjack does go back in and do the left side. But here is Hookshot Cave.
More money, more problems. Even more money, more problems. With a broken heart.
Ooh, a Ritter Ring. And he is going to go claim his Ether Medallion. And I do not believe he went to check the medallion yet for Turtle Rock. So we shall see what it requires. As Slumberjack takes down Argus for his fourth crystal. So yeah, we're about to see what Turtle Rock requires for entry, and it is Ether.
So he's going to go ahead and do it partly, but then afterwards, on the next visit, once he gets his Ice Rod, he will go mode it from that way. So his go mode is definitely Ice Rod, for sure.
That is going to be interesting to see what is in Turtle Rock and where.
I'm placing my faith on Flute beating you in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, at this point, I feel that as well. We also need some boots somewhere.
What's stopping the sea from having boots in Turtle Rock as well? You know, but it could be in the purple chest, though. I could be completely wrong. Or somewhere else, like Pyramid Fairy.
So we are looking for boots and flute, and possibly Bombus, depending on what Meyer is for go mode.
As Slumberjack successfully hookshot clips into Super Money Help Cave for the back part. Looks like both of them are going to go into Turtle Rock, and we know for sure Jack is going to go right into it and finish it, but Ryu will have to do a little bit of divergence afterwards once he gets the rest of the checks done.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ryu, this dip is probably going to cost him some time. And possibly a significant chunk of time.
Well, you don't really need boots for Misery Meyer. That I know for sure, but Flute, I can understand not being being locked behind under Pyramid Fairy because Mizumaya's red crystal.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if Flute is maybe...
Oh wait, both Desert and Mizumaya are red crystals. I just now noticed that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. So, can't be there.
Okay. I stand thoroughly corrected on this regard, which I am okay with. In fact, that takes a little relief off my shoulders. That means progression's definitely around here somewhere. We just need to find it.
As Slumberjack is about to open up Turtle Rock for himself, and we'll be able to go straight through and complete it.
So in this regard, Jack is ahead by a bit by being able to clear this afterwards. But after that, if Flute and Boots are not nowhere to be seen in here, they'll have to do a lot of overworld check. The rest of the overworld checks are at the very least hopefully come up with something.
I think my next play would be Pod.
Pod is definitely something that is worth considering too. Has a lot of checks there that are not too far out, and plus you can just go into it with no issues.
But at least this is a crystal, so we're not wasting time per se at this place.
Yeah, knocking this out like partly way and then leaving out to do other stuff to finish. This is probably the least offensive dungeon to double dip in. I think the most would probably be like I want to say Ice Palace to double dip in.
Yeah, it will be rough though because Ryu will have to go all the way through this dungeon again. But he is probably going to give Mimikade a visit here, and we'll see if something interesting is in here.
Ew, he just picked up the big bear.
Well, he didn't know it was there, so it's going to be Lag City for Slumberjack.
Please pay your respects to Lumberjack as he carries the giant butter shield.
And just another heart container in Mimic Cave, so this is not a heart. This is not a low heart seed. It's definitely being nice on the heart regards.
I guess you could say the seed has a lot of love for the runners, but in all the wrong places.
There you go.
I believe Boots and Flute for Slumberjack. Ryu still needs to find his ice rod.
Oh, Flute was just found.
And there's our Boots.
There are Boots and Flute, so we're in no mode. And as soon as Jack picks them up, we will be in go mode. Boots and Flutes and Boots and Flutes and Boots and Flutes. TR entrance was Ether. So we don't know we don't know if we are actually in Gomu yet, because we might need Bombos for Misery Mire. So Ryu is going to be kind of losing a little time because he doesn't have Ice Rock. He hasn't visited Graveyard Ledge yet. Answering that question in chat.
And Jack picking up a safety fairy just in case some oopsie daisy happens, which I don't blame him. he did end up he did end up having to use a red potion earlier in I think Ice Palace.
Yeah, for the Cold Stare fight. So we don't want to have a laser bridge oopsie daisy. So Ryu is hoping for that ice rod, and he is not going to find it here, sadly.
Yep, time to save and quit from here and start checking the overworld, or at least going to Misery Mire to finish that up, as well as Desert Palace.
As a Slumberjack picks up his flute, and he is momentarily about to pick up his boots to maybe possibly be in go mode. But we won't know until he goes to Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, Turtle Rock is a crystal dungeon, so Ryu is not losing a lot of time in leaving out of that dungeon. What we're hoping he does now, at the very least, get his ice rod in the back of the cemetery ledge, and finishing up both the desert and Misery Mire.
This is kind of scary because he's doing these light world checks right now instead of going to the dark world and doing them all at the same time. So I'm hoping he doesn't end up orphaning it.
I think he's doing that because he's still on his way to free the bird.
True, but I'm hoping he doesn't free the bird and then go off to Misery Mire.
That is also a good concern, because leaving that out and orphaning that will definitely burn Ryu in the very end. Alright, Ryu, so what you're going to do after this? Because I know Misery Mire looks really enticing right now. And looks like he is going to go there.
Well, at least for us, we will find out what our Misery Mire medallion is and whether we are in go mode or not.
And with a dash, I'm going to check to see, and we get Ether Medallion. Ladies and gentlemen, and with the confirmation of that in 1 hour and 60 minutes, Slumberjack is in go mode.
We do find an invulnerability item in the shed.
The Blue Cane of Brianna. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Berna.
Berna. Yeah, that sounds a lot more. That sounds like it makes much more sense.
But I'm assuming Slumberjack is going to free his bird and will be soon in knowledge that he is in go mode.
Now, the only thing that's keeping our runners from doing more checks afterwards is to see if they can find silver arrows. But more likely than not, it seems like silver arrows could be in Ganon's tower.
This is true, or maybe Ryu will find him in his search for the ice rod.
Just now realize that he's relegated to doing the ice rod hunt now, and it kind of hurts.
Yeah, that is the curse of running rando. Sometimes you don't even know you put yourself in that situation, and it is what it is.
Well, I hope for his sake he doesn't do the rest of the pendant dungeons thinking that ice rod is on pedestal.
That would be semi-ugly.
As we get 10 bombs as the last... Was it that the last item or not?
Yes, because the mirror was in here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely.
So he's going to go do his Landmos fight, and he'll probably go right into Meyer afterwards. And Slumber Jack's about to get the good news. He's just banking on the fact that he has what he needs. And he knows he's in go mode.
So while our two runners are going through the paces of both of these dungeons, I would like to remind you that this is the Link to the Past League Season 3 with your commentators Esper Hub and Sokolov 2044. Do give our runners a follow. They are working hard out there, as you can see, to do the work, as well as our restreamer and our tracker.
Yeah, Will WC doing a fantastic job pushing the buttons to make sure everything lights up for you. As Ryu gets his 5th crystal.
And the quality that Math Girl is doing the restream of is phenomenal. So here's hoping this room has our God Buyer key, I hope.
It does not, sadly.
Rather unfortunate, but that's okay. We can still look for it somewhere around here.
Hopefully
It just won't be a God one.
Yeah, hopefully it's not in cutscene chests. Slumberjack is going to check the arena chest here first. Which is
a piece of heart, huh?
Which gives him 17 hearts.
A whole lot of love happening right now.
Ruh-roh. So it's either in a cutscene chest or the small chest by the big chest.
And it looks like Jack is hoping that it's in cutscene chest, because if nothing else comes up here, he's gonna be crying for a little bit. At least I would be if I had to do this and then realize it's not in here. Oh, there it is.
That was a good call.
And it looks like Ryu is making his way to the cutscene chest as well. Not deciding to go to the arena to check the chest, so this will be good on his part, at the very least, to clean this dungeon out a little bit faster than Jack does.
Yeah, to answer chat again, Ice Rod is on Graveyard Ledge.
We are hoping Ryu does not orphan this one, just so he can run back up to the mountain to finish off Trinex and then going into the tower.
Unfortunately for Ryu, I think he might check Pyramid Fairy first.
It all depends on what Ryu does after this dungeon. He did finish Desert Palace, so His next call will determine. He'll ultimately determine his fate at this point. It looks like Rio's doing some other. Oh, that's right. He's doing other checks because he's wondering if the ice rod is in here.
Yeah, he is still hunting for that wonderful freezing rod. So he's going to check out the big chest.
Now, what will be here that I'll hope he'll get is silvers here. And that will make up the time doing this.
Ooh, a cape.
A good safety measure.
But
Not
that's not going to help.
Yeah, not going to help him in the long run because he has to. He did all that extra time to get that, but you know what? What can you do when you're looking for ice rod at this point?
We also know that there is nothing on that on that bumper ledge, so. But yes, Slumberjack picking up his 6th crystal, about to go into desert to get his 7th and final.
Meanwhile, Ryu is going through the final part of the Misery Mire basement in order to get to the boss.
Yeah, so I think the biggest difference in the two runners' strategies here was Slumberjack's getting the Titan's Mitts right away off of Lake Hylia Island after getting the Moon Pearl, and then checking North Dark World right after he checked Thieves Town and Skullwoods.
Yeah, I feel like that check was just what made this a huge split and gave him the massive lead that he needed to get up to this point.
As Ryu takes down his Vitreous and his 6th crystal, we can just only hope for him that he heads to North Dark World to get that ice rod.
He may end up doing Blacksmith Chain as well.
This is true. He is fluting to the village. So maybe, just maybe.
He did do those other checks around the graveyard ledge too, so he must be thinking like maybe I should not orphan that one,
Yeah.
which would definitely be the right call right now to do.
Right. With that cape, maybe he's thinking of checking out the bumper ledge, and hopefully that'll push him over to graveyard ledge.
And it looks like that is the case. So he's not going to lose that. Well, he's going to be like a dungeon behind because he does have to go back into Turtle Rock to go through the process of getting to the boss. But he will not lose as much time as he would doing all the other checks, since he's doing this one to actually get the go mode item that he needs. But yeah, it was a good thing that he came back to this to do the check.
It was definitely a good thing he found that cape in Misery Mire, because
that would have steered.
Yeah,
that pushed him towards this. So I'm very glad that the cape existed there for his sake to get to that. because he would have probably checked Blacksmith Chain and then went to Pod afterwards. And now we get to the part where Slumberjack is now going into Ganon's tower. Usually you play the guessing game at this point. I don't think it's up, is it?
I don't think we have the bot for it, so we'll just play it for pride.
All right, then. I'm going to guess number 8.
I always go with 12. I'm thinking 12 today, yeah. So yeah, get your guesses in the chat. As our first chest has a small key, and the second has another small key. So it looks like Slumberjack is going to go full right. Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully for his sake, it is not entirely. Because that will be a... And there she is. Number 3.
Amazing.
So at this point, it would be Slumberjack's race to lose. Maybe a fall to Ganon will bring Ryu back to life, especially without silvers. So it's still far from over at this point.
Yeah, thankfully he does have Tempered, and that helps doing silverless Ganon a lot more.
So
it's time for the gauntlet.
So. As Ryu heads to do his Trinex fight. We will see if Ryu decides to go straight right as well.
If he does, he'll at the very least still be like a link or 2 ways behind, but he won't be that far behind compared to if he goes to left first. A very, very clean Trinex fight, though.
Yeah, very clean. Ryu has his 7th crystal, so we'll be entering the tower.
Slumberjack nearly finishing his second part of the gauntlet.
That Samaria block did not want to agree with him at that point.
He made it up for the second time around, though, so he's good to go. I usually like falling down like that as well when doing these torches because it allows me to just hit the other one and dash through for the rest of it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a time save if you you do it properly.
All that boink though, stalling on us already. Like, I know you're in the giving us a bit of a show right there.
It's like he's double checking to see if those silvers are right here. And it does look like Ryu is going full right.
All right,
So,
this is a good sign. So he's
so,
not.
Yeah, so a Ganon fall could put him right back into this.
More bombs in that chest, unfortunately. So if it's not on Mort, then it has to be left side where the. Ooh, that fall though. It'll have to be left side Ganon Tower where the silvers could potentially be at.
What's from B in this final chest? That would be something.
No, just to be at the bottom.
I hope we see that B in the Ganon fight. That would be something. Everybody likes a B. Of course, that's not a nice B, so probably not.
I mean, we are in the dark world, so I'm pretty sure bees here are pretty vicious. As we get a good double from Aga 2 fight with Slumberjack looking to finish it up. Unfortunately, missing the mark on the second teleport.
I feel you're playing Slumberjack. But he does get
There
a
we
double.
go. A very good double seals the deal, and now he is off to fight Ganon himself. I didn't think it would be like 1 hour and 35 when this is mostly done. That's actually a pretty good time.
If all goes well and he doesn't fall, it should be a sub 140.
That is granted if he can nail all of his spin, at least double spins from Ganon here. Because not doing it right and missing Torch Glitch can be a very, very huge issue.
Yeah, I'm not sure on his potion situation at the moment.
I don't think he used any of the greens he picked up, so I think he should be good on potions. He's half-half magic as well. But it'll take some time for him to clean up the fight if he misses the Torch Glitch.
And a good double position here. So he should easily be into phase 3 at this point.
And Ryu cleaning up landmills at a very, very fast fashion. He's looking to make his way up to the second part of the gauntlet and hopes to catch up. Should Jack ends up like troubling at one point or another.
Ooh, they were in pod.
Wow. And he does get the Torch Glitch, so now we're just gonna do some spins right on Ganon and hopefully take it out. I forgot how many spins you need to...
It is 12.
Okay, 12 on Tempered, okay. And he almost got the spin off of that one to make it a triple.
I think he's at 6 at the moment.
And a nice attempt to try to get another spin off of that for the torchlit. But that's fine, it's okay. Ganon is down. Slumberjack has finished his round.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat for Slumberjack as he just avoids falling in the pit. And there he is with an official time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 18 seconds.
That is a pretty nice fight. You think they'll be up for an interview after this?
I would think so. So I think we are probably just going to wait until Ryu finishes off here, since he is almost there as well.
Probably also want to see if what's his name is in the waiting room already waiting for this, but yeah. As Ryu takes down his Aga 2 fight, now going towards Ganon.
And hopefully Ryu will just make short work of Ganon here. As he is in phase 2 at the moment.
Making good use of the cape that he just got.
It's always nice to have that cape in the Ganon fight, just in case you may need it.
And now we're in the last phase as we get the... Uh-oh. Okay, no, he got it. I don't know if he turned him blue intentionally just to keep him from doing the Firebird attack.
Yeah, that's always a strategy if Ganon is standing right there.
I think he missed that spin. That's rather unfortunate. Looks like we're getting close to the end. And I think this last spin should do it. Okay, maybe a few more, I guess. There we go. And Ryu takes down his Ganon.
Get your GG's in. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's cool.
I'll let you do the time.
And once he finished crossing this bridge with a time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 27 seconds, Ryu finished his lap around Hyrule and finishing the game. Well played by both of these runners. They weren't too far apart.
And I believe we have both Slumberjack and PhantomRyu. So GG's to both of you.
Hello. Thank you.
Well played, you two. Well played.
Interesting seed there. The the light world was ridiculous with Hammer at Agana, then having to go to Magic Bat. And
Yeah, it led you around really roughly with the linear progression there. We was like, yeah, this seed is pretty disgusting, huh?
Oh yeah, the back and forth at the very beginning. Hammer to mountain, or back and forth between desert and mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly. So, Slumberjack, did you double dip Turtle Rock as well?
I did not. I made the decision to do a grand world tour of all of Dark World, including doing the top all the way to Catfish before I went to Swamp or Ice Palace.
That
And
makes sense. Yeah, I
including-
double dipped
including
Turtle Rock. I
Skullwood.
knew the flute was going to be in Turtle Rock. I knew it, and I was right there. And I'm like, let me go do Turtle Rock. I found the flute and the boots, and I was like, oh, yeah, maybe this is good. But I think that was the difference maker.
Yeah.
yeah, the huge difference with this entirely was hinging on if you went to the upper part of not upper part, but if you went to do the cemetery check for Dark World early.
Yeah, I was feeling very good about this race when I found Ice Rod at first, and then only had to climb the mountain once to find my 2-go mode items in Turtle Rock. That was the point where I was like, I think I'm okay this time. I still wasn't too sure. Some of my execution was a little sloppy, but it's all right.
Yeah, I had some sloppy execution, particularly in the Ganon fight. Did anybody else think Ganon took more than 12 hits for me?
I think so as well. I think you missed one of the spins, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I know I missed one or two, but as I was counting, I was like, this doesn't seem right, but whatever.
Oh, I didn't keep track in the final phase because I kept missing my triples.
But yeah,
I've never been able to do triples on Ganon.
Yeah, besides the beginning part where the seed just kind of just threw y'all back and forth into two entirely different places, the rest of the seed seemed to be okay at most. It did give y'all a lot of hearts. What were y'all thoughts when y'all was looking for, I think, what was it? Not Ice Rod, but at the very least, when y'all came across that Desert Palace's boots lock, what were y'all initial thoughts on that one?
Where did I go after that? Oh, because I went there. When did I go there? I'm forgetting.
I'm forgetting too. I remember going there pretty early, and then God, where was the book? Because I went there almost
you know what I was
immediately
thinking?
after
I was
getting
still
the book.
thinking at the time because we got Mir. I was like, well, up the mountain I go again. As soon as
Yeah,
I
I
got it,
think
and I don't
that's-
know why I checked the big key there. That was just dumb, like because it had to be a key there at that point. That didn't bother me too much. I just figured I'd route it with Meyer later. And hope for a flute.
Yeah, I was up on the mountain. And Ether was right there at Floating Island, and the medallion for Turtle Rock was Ether. I was like, maybe I need to go to Turtle Rock now. I got you baited.
Besides that gamble, the rest of the gambles that y'all did took on skipping on certain parts were definitely good to especially get a good sub 2 time that y'all have now.
Did we both skip pod completely?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably very good then.
Yeah,
It's
there
funny
was a part of me that was like, I can do pod, but I really don't want to.
I will always save pod for last if I can, basically. Pod, I just hate pod. Like I know it burns a lot of people when you don't do it because there are 5 checks over there, but like I just don't want to go over there. Especially when it's pendant.
Do not blame you. Of course, unfortunately, that's where silvers were this race.
Yeah.
I didn't really need them that much. Y'all did pretty well on those Ganon fights. But with that said and done, I think I don't have any more questions. Do you, So-Called?
I do not. You covered everything that I was going to ask.
Oh, all right then. But yeah, we do hope you two will continue to give us some good performances like that before.
We'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. That was a close race. It I don't know if it hurts more to get beat close or to get beat, by 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. I don't know which one is worse.
Well, I would like to say 10 minutes, especially if you orphaned an item.
Yeah, this one was definitely I made a gamble to do North Dark World before doing either Swamp Palace or Ice Palace when they were in play. So
Oh wow, you did that early? Wow.
yeah, I did all of Southern Dark World, did Thieves Town, Skullwoods, North Dark World, and then I went to Ice Palace and Swamp. So I had Ice Rod the entire time, and then when I had Fire Rod and Samara, I was like, well, up the mountain I finally go.
But yeah. Any other final thoughts?
Just GG's to
Yeah.
Slumber. They're a good race.
GG's.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Yeah,
Good game.
not much to
Well
say.
played.
The seed was that seed, and it was good. It's a good race.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
And thank you for your fantastic race.
All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
And with